What if I told you that one of the most passionate, most intimate love poems ever written is hiding right in the middle of the Bible? Well, that's what we're jumping into today. We're going to explore the Song of Solomon, a book that's not just one thing, but human love story, a divine prophecy, and a spiritual guide all wrapped in one. So let's break down what makes this ancient song so incredibly powerful. To really get this ancient poetry, we first have to see it through the lens of a real lived-in love. And this quote from Elder Michael Tolliver just captures that essence perfectly. See, it's not about some abstract idea. It's about a love that actually pays attention to these small, beautiful details of life. The kind that brings real color and joy. Let's keep that idea in our minds as we go deeper. So who's the person behind this incredible song? Well, it's King Solomon. And this isn't his only work. He actually gave us 3 books that, when you read them together, they map out this profound personal journey, a search for meaning that ultimately leads him to discover the true nature of love. And this timeline just lays it out so well. He starts in Ecclesiastes, searching under the sun, looking for meaning in all this stuff of the material world, and he just finds emptiness. But then, in Proverbs, there's a shift. He looks up, he's guided by divine light, and he starts to get what true value is. And then finally, he arrives at the Song of Songs. The search is over. He's found true love, and the highest song begins. Okay, so this book isn't just some simple love poem. It's incredibly rich because you can understand it on at least 3 different overlapping levels. And getting a handle on these layers is absolutely the key to unlocking its full depth. So here's how it works. We can read this song in 3 ways. First, as a straightforward human love story between a man and a woman. Simple enough. Second, as a prophetic picture of Christ and the faithful remnant of Israel, those who stayed true to God. And third, and this is where it gets really personal, as a spiritual guide for the relationship between an individual believer and Jesus. And look how this plays out. In both of those deeper interpretations, the identity of the groom is always the same. He always represents Christ. But the bride, she shifts. Prophetically, she's Jerusalem, the whole people of God. But in the spiritual view, the focus gets laser sharp. The bride becomes the individual believer, which means the bride is you. Now, to see how these layers really work in practice, let's zoom in on one specific moment in the text, the bride's honest, vulnerable confession about her past. This is where the story gets incredibly relatable. She says, "Don't despise me because I am dark." Wow, what a powerful moment. She isn't making excuses for her past or her flaws. She's explaining them. She's basically asking for understanding because her darkness wasn't her choice. It was something that happened to her, the result of being scorched by the sun while she was forced to work. And now we see where the pain comes from. Her own brothers, in their anger, made her tend their vineyards. And because of that, she had to neglect her own vineyard, her own life, her own calling. The takeaway here is absolutely timeless. We cannot let the urgent demands of other people cause us to neglect what is truly important, the things God has personally given us to care for. And this brings us to a really challenging question, doesn't it? When someone is this honest with us about their failures, about their past, how do we respond? Do we offer grace, or do we hold it over them? Here's the crucial takeaway. When we forget something, it's a weakness of our mind. But when God forgets our sins, it's an act of sovereign power. He chooses to erase them. And if God has erased someone's past, we have absolutely no right to bring it back up. To do that just shows we've forgotten our own desperate need for that exact same grace. So after that raw confession, how does the groom respond? Well, his answer is it's a masterclass in loving guidance. It shows us exactly how to restore someone who feels lost or has stumbled without heaping on any shame. Before he says a single word of correction, he calls her the most beautiful among women. He affirms her value. He affirms his love for her first. And this ensures that his guidance isn't heard as rejection, but as a loving course correction. It's so important. He affirms before he guides. And his instructions are so beautifully simple. First, he says, go forth. Just leave. Leave the environment and the company that are holding you back. Get out of that place. Second, follow the trails. Don't try to invent some new complicated path. Instead, follow the ancient, well-worn footprints of those who have faithfully walked this way before you. So all of this, the love, the forgiveness, the gentle guidance, it's all pointing to the ultimate theme of this entire song. This incredible idea of an eternal and totally unbreakable spiritual union between Christ and the believer. So what exactly is this spiritual union? It's the miracle that happens the moment someone believes. God literally pours the very life of Christ into their life, and the two become one single inseparable being. This union is indissoluble. It can't be dissolved. It's irreversible. It can't be undone. And it's eternal. It simply cannot be broken. This might sound a little abstract, but it becomes crystal clear with a simple analogy. Think of your life as a cup of black coffee. The moment you believe, God pours in the cream, the very life of his son. The two blend together into something entirely new. And once they're mixed, can you ever separate that cream from the coffee again? No way. It's a perfect, unbreakable union. And the implications of this are just staggering. Because you are united with him, everything that happened to Christ now legally counts for you. When he died on the cross, you died with him. When he rose from the dead, you rose with him. When he ascended to heaven, guess what? You ascended with him. Your life, your story, your destiny are now completely wrapped up and hidden in his. And that means you can never be separated from him. So we end with this. The Song of Solomon isn't just some ancient poem. It's a story of passionate love, radical forgiveness, and an identity that can never, ever be broken. And so the final question for us to really think about is this. How does understanding this unbreakable union change the way you see your own story?